I'm here at the Challenge Roth Expo, and I'll be honest, I thought I'd been to some sizable expos in my time, but this one, it's enormous and it takes it to a whole new level. So we're gonna get in there and have a look around and see what we can find. So here we are at the Sporks stand, which is a Spanish socks brand from Valencia actually, and they've got quite the collection of colours of socks here, all sorts of different varieties and colourways. Can't really miss them actually. We've got some triathlon specific, run specific, and even bike specific socks, so pretty much everything you could want to choose from. And I think I'm going to be having a little look at my favourite pair after this video is done. So we've made our way to the apparel company FE226. So FE representing the symbol for iron in the periodic table, 226 for the number of kilometers in a full distance triathlon. So quite a funky little name that they've put together. Danish brand. Very innovative. So this material here, I'm told, is one of the fastest that is on the market right now. Many watts quicker than a lot of suits tested in the tunnel and or the track, apparently, with their top athletes. In fact, Andy Bucherer, who's going to be racing here in Roth this weekend, he will be wearing this suit. Franz Loschke, who was third in Frankfurt last weekend, wore this suit too. And apparently, this is an excellent material for really feeling cool in the hot conditions that we're getting in Europe right now. This has been treated with something called cold black, which can make even a black suit like this feel a lot cooler in hot conditions. So that's excellent for long distance racing. The material's got something really funky about it called four-way stretch, so it just feels really flexible. It is as fast as a swim skin in the water, even though it's not a swim skin, it's just a regular tri-suit. So there's an awful lot of features in this suit that makes it really appealing to triathletes racing long course. So something a little bit more fun here. We're at the KMC stand, and you can see here behind me their collection of different colored chains that they offer, and that's what's particularly unique about the KMC chain. It's an extremely durable and lightweight chain anyway, but all these different colors you can see here, they apparently will last for thousands of kilometers, they tell me, which is pretty cool. The colors don't wear out, and obviously you can choose any color there that might match your particular frame color. So that's a pretty exciting thing to have on your bike if you ask me. And interestingly too, at Challenge Roth this weekend, Andy Dreitz, he's going to be riding, I presume, a blue one to match his bike. Right, so we're at the Swisslight booth now, and this is some very exciting kit that we've got here. This is F1 Formula One technology brought over to cycling, and this here is Swisslight's pressure measurement rake, as they call it. So as you can see, it sits here on the back of the seat tube behind the rider when they're riding out on the real world. And the whole point of this is that rider can go into the wind tunnel and get measurements registered in there in the wind tunnel. But as they say here at Swisslight, they don't want to win the race in the wind tunnel. They want to be effective out in the real world too. So this measurement rake here, you can see all these different data points that come off it, and that allows them to work out the pressure losses out there in the real world, so they can mimic, hopefully, what's happening in the wind tunnel, take it out onto the road with the riders. And they've actually already done this with Patrick Lange and Laura Philipp, and they've already been testing to try and make sure that what they're creating in the wind tunnel is the same out on the road. Pretty nifty stuff. So we've arrived at the Cube stand now, and they've got another really exciting bit of kit. This is brand new, just released yesterday ahead of the Tour de France, the team that's racing on it there. This is the new Cube C68 Lightning SLT, which is their brand new aero road bike. 3 years in the making, I've been told, in their design and R&D. They've been testing that out with the top athletes like Andy Bucherer and others, and this is a really stunning bit of kit. I mean, it's completely integrated. There's not a cable in sight on that frame. To be honest, I wish I could go and take it for a ride myself. Right, so now we've moved on to the VeloSock stand in the Expo, and this is a little bit different. I haven't seen one of these before, but I think it's a really good idea. So this is a cover for your bike, as you can see, covering the drive chain, the wheels, basically everything that gets dirty on the bike and, well, stops stuff getting scratched or covered in oil or dirt. I think that's a really cool idea. One step further, they've actually got an entire bike cover, which means if you're putting it on the bike rack outside the car, then nothing's going to get dirty or get the rain on it if you're going on a long drive, or even, as I've seen in Transitions Air already, you can leave your bike racked overnight with this cover on it. So if you hadn't already noticed, I'm in the Quintanaroo stand here, and I couldn't possibly walk by without a quick stop because the colour schemes in here are absolutely super. There's all sorts of bright colours. You've got bright blue, bright reds, bright pinks. And this one here on my right shoulder is probably my favorite. This is an army green with the black decals, and it just stands out for me really well. I'd love to ride a frame like that. So we've made our way to the De Boer stand here at the Expo, and this is the Fiord wetsuit, their brand new suit, or one of their 2 brand new suits. And I am luckily going to be able to give this thing a try in the swimming pool. So I'm going to pop over there now and see what it feels like. It's got some really exciting features. Now, the first one I'll talk about is this ribbed neoprene feature you can see here, which is something they call whaleskin. They've taken 7mm thick neoprene and squashed it down into 5mm, which then makes it legal. That's as thick as you can have on any panel in a wetsuit. Another really great feature that they've got on this is their arms. Now, these are only 0.3 of a mil thick, which is the thinnest neoprene that is available on the market, full stop. And another really excellent feature on these is, and something I don't really want to try too hard, but I'm told they're completely rip-free. All in all, I can see these being really popular. Right, now, although this strictly speaking isn't tech, I couldn't really walk past the Clif stand without a quick peek at their vast array of tasty flavours, most notably their very famous Clif Bar. In fact, they've been around since the early 1990s, so they're an industry leader on the nutrition front, and I must say this is some of the stuff that I always used to love having in my back pocket when I was training, or even having on an Ironman or a long distance race, so I guess I should have a try of one of their flavours. Moving on to helmets, and we've stopped here at the UofE booth, and this is their current top-of-the-range TT helmet, the Race 8, and they say this is a very aerodynamic helmet, and it certainly looks it, and there's some interesting features on the helmet, most notably the visor. Like a lot of TT helmets now, it has some magnetic strips. That means when you pop that visor off, it will snap on pretty much anywhere onto the top of the helmet, so you don't have to worry about losing your visor when you take it off. Really useful if it's a changeable type of weather conditions race, so I like that. Another useful fact about the helmet is it's got a really big ventilation vent right here on the front, which is a good thing to have in a TT helmet because often they can get really hot. And finally, an aspect of this helmet that's just good is it's got quite a short back, cut it off quite low there, which means if you do pop your head down, which we often do when we're racing, you're not going to have a tail poking way up into the air. So UofE don't just make TT helmets, of course, they also make a whole range of other helmets. So this one here caught my eye, quite literally, with the flashing lights. This is their city light version, which is obviously really good for being seen in the dark or just in cities in general. So really like that function. As you can see, it's got some flashing lights. We've got the blue lights on the front and then red lights on the back, just like you had on any normal car. So I think that's a really interesting feature to add onto a helmet. I haven't seen that on any other helmets. And you probably can't fail to notice the vest that I'm also wearing, which is another product that UofE are making for you to be really seen and nice and safe when you're out in the cities at night time. So this vest has the flashing lights so you can see me a bit like a Christmas tree, but really safe. You can't really miss me. And it's got a charger pack inside there, or power pack rather, that you can charge up the battery so that you can always have your flashing lights going. You don't have to have the one that comes in here. You could use your own battery pack either. It just plugs in with a USB. So we've got another sock brand here, but this is a little bit different because we're now in compression territory. This is the CEP booth, and they are a German brand, but with their roots very much based in the medical profession, which they've taken over into the sports industry with all that technology moved over. So they have all sorts of different socks on offer, everything from short socks, running socks, and obviously the more famous long sleeve compression socks, which you can use for training, for racing, or indeed, as I used to often do when you're traveling on long haul flights or even long car journeys, just helps make you feel that little bit fresher when you get to the other end. So a quick stop here at the Orca stand, because this clearly caught my eye. As you can see, it's really bright, and that's the whole point in it. So this here is a swim run safety buoy, so specifically for doing swim run events. I'm pretty sure Mark would really like one of these. Now, this has got some shoulder straps here so that you can wear it for the entirety of the swim run race. Obviously, when you're running on land, that's fine. And even when you're swimming, apparently that's not a problem either, because it's got some chest straps as well. It's also got another feature for training if you want to just use a waistband like a traditional swim buoy. So that's pretty useful. You can take that off if you want to for swim run races. So really interesting bit of kit there. So I couldn't walk past the Zipp stand without quickly stopping to have a look at this disc behind me, because this is their Super 9 disc, current model, but it's an anniversary disc, which was from the 1988 original disc wheels. So this is the 30th anniversary. Last year they brought this out, but in 1988 they had 4 original colorways. They had white, blue, pink, and yellow. And obviously this is the white one here, but you can buy all colorways on the Zipp website. But this is just a really funky disc. You don't see many brightly colored discs outside of the pro rank. So if you fancy having a little bit of something different on your bike, well, this might be for you. So that was a fun wander around the expo there. Definitely got in amongst it and found some interesting bits and pieces. In particular, the swim run gear caught my eye. And if there was something of note that you liked, please drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear that. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, so please hit that thumb up like button and find the globe on screen to get all the other videos on our channel. And if you want to see another tech tour, well, you can find that here.